Sure, we did the REINS Act. It was, I think it was House Bill 402, and essentially, the Chevron decision came down about a year and a half ago. And for your viewers who don't know, back in the '80s, it was the original Chevron decision that really gave the explosive power of rulemaking to the bureaucracy. And over the last 40 years, we have been regulated to death with very little opportunity to turn any of that back. And so, what the reg once the that decision was overturned by the federal government, it gave us an open door to try to do something. So what this bill says is before any regulation or rule in the state of North Carolina can be thrown down, they have to do an economic impact statement. In other words, what is it going to cost our businesses or our people to implement this? If it's going to cost more than $5 million in a year, that is considered essentially a tax. And so it has to go back to the legislature, and the legislature has to vote on it. So the people's house, the Senate, they have to approve it. If it's between $1 and $5 million, it can go to the Rules Commission that we have set up and be heard there. But there has to be a unanimous decision on that board to go ahead and approve this rule. If it's less than $1 million, it still goes back to the board, but they have to have a 2/3 supermajority to implement that rule. And so the idea is the way it's been for 40 years is they throw down rules and we have very little power to stop it, and they don't really necessarily have to justify it. What this does is it throws it back on you. It says, but you need to justify what you're doing and why you're doing it. If it's a good rule, it'll get implemented, it'll pass, but you know what? It'll be bad. Now, the other thing is it also applies, and our Rules Commission every 10 years is supposed to look at every rule. And so we have 110,000 rules that have come out in the state of North Carolina over the years.
Wow.
Every rule is now subject to this. They will have to do an economic impact statement, and it'll all fall the same way. So my hope is this will help get the foot of regulation off of our backs. So that is a gigantic one. We had to override the governor. We did override the governor. It was with bipartisan support. So people are really starting to wake up and recognize how bad that is for us. So that was a huge accomplishment in this that has not gotten the coverage that it really should